Tonight, China's hospitals under strain as a wave of COVID sweeps the country, with harsh lockdowns no longer in place to hold it back. Emergency room patients, many on oxygen, filling every available bed, and in some cases, spilling out into the hallways. Work in the emergency department is non-stop, this doctor says. And here, medical staff warn families there's no oxygen for patients in the corridors. The exact scale of the surge, unknown. China this week stopped publishing daily COVID data, but experts say it appears to be tearing through a population without herd immunity, and where many, including the elderly, have not received boosters.
What we're seeing really is what sounds like a mass infection event.
China began scaling back its zero COVID restrictions after widespread anti-lockdown protests. Some demonstrators even calling for the downfall of the Communist Party. The government's official explanation for the change: Omicron is less likely to cause hospitalization and death, and so doesn't require severe restrictions. The Chinese government is saying Omicron is less severe now, but we've been dealing with Omicron for a year or so. Does that claim medically make sense to you?
You know, I think it's very difficult to say for certain, Raph. And I think you're making the great point that here in the United States and really for most countries around the world, we have this large pool of relative immunity that's built up based on prior infections. But in China, we just don't know that for certain because we really don't know exactly how a population that doesn't have a large pool of prior infection is going to react to Omicron infection.
The latest move, starting January 8th, travelers arriving in China will no longer need to quarantine, ending a requirement that's been in place since early 2020. Right now, travelers face 8 days of quarantine, but at times it's been as long as 3 weeks. For many ordinary people, relief at the reopening mixed with fear of resurgent COVID. I'm definitely a little worried, but for the sake of living, you have to be able to work normally, right? Harsh restrictions, hopefully soon, a thing of the past. But a long winter struggle with the virus may still be ahead. China says the next stage of its reopening is to start allowing Chinese citizens to travel abroad for tourism once again. But a number of neighboring countries are actually imposing new restrictions on visitors from China because of the surge in COVID cases there.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.